Hey guys, wait a sec here. Now, of course, I'll just kind of try to get right to it. And, because I see a lot of this on the internet, and I see this both on both sides. I don't just see this only from men on my channel, which I do, of course, see it from men on my channel, but also on other social media platforms. But I've also seen the same complaints from women as well. But, in my mind, I don't really see it as an issue between any of the sexes, whether it's because one or the other is being bad to the other sex, you know, and, also the snippets of, why aren't, men or women marrying anymore and blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's because men are treating women like shit. Oh, because women are treating men like shit. I mean, I've seen multiple videos of both, and I just hear the same bullshit. It's just a bunch of people bitching. Sometimes it feels like when I listen to these videos, you know. And of course, I showed just one case of it, although I showed a different case of it of a woman actually saying things about women or should I say men and why they weren't, going out with women. In her case, she of course said something along the lines of, "Oh, it's because women are just treating guys like shit, and they should be more like me, blah blah blah," basically is what she was saying. But for the most part, the reason why I don't do it is because, for one, obviously I have female friends and women, and for another reason being that I do like women. So, why would I just be harping on them so much like that and throwing them under the bus? And two, or should I say three? Three. And another reason would be, if I ever want to, let's say, secure relations with another woman, or I mean, my God, the way I'm speaking today. Sorry about that. With a woman. With a woman, just in general, then why would I be throwing them under the bus in the first place? If I ever want to secure a relationship with a woman in the future, why would I be throwing them under the bus? You know, because obviously I maybe at one point want to secure relations with a woman, so why would I throw them under the bus like that? And because let's say I go on a date with somebody and then they check out my YouTube channel and all I'm saying is all this negative bullshit about women. And well, obviously they aren't going to go and have a relationship with me, are they? And so it just kind of baffles me every single time I listen to some of these guys' videos and how much they throw women under the bus sometimes. And I'm just thinking, man, do you ever want to have a relationship with a woman ever again? Because if they see this video that you made of about women and why you aren't going out with them, this is not going to help much, is it? Now, if you don't want to be in relations with anybody, I don't really care. But I also just think it's funny that they only talk about, relations with men and women having relationships as well. They also never talk about the LGBTQ community. I've actually talked especially quite a bit with people in that community on the internet over the past few years, and also people that I know personally, of course, who I know are either gay, lesbian, etc. And trans. I don't meet many trans here, but that's because a lot of the trans here in Iowa don't really go out much. But I have met a select few, and recently we actually got a trans person actually at my job who actually identifies as female, etc. But enough about that. But this kind of stuff is everywhere as well. And from what I've seen, marriage is a bit more popular with gay, lesbian, etc. because it's more of a new thing for them. It's only been so long that this community has been able to get married like we have been able to, the straight community, of course. And hey, I mean, go for it. I mean, if getting married is what you want to do. You found somebody that you like and care about or want to be with, whether it's on a business, thing, or you care about them, just whatever, just go for it. But it's just crazy to think that for the longest time they didn't even when they were able to get married, they didn't really have any, let's say, benefits to getting married, which is just insane. But of course, enough about that. But I just didn't want to mention that they never talk about that community when it comes to getting married. But yeah, I also just think that there are, though, a lot of people that just don't even need to get married, really. I think that, if you aren't a very serious person, that, being married is going to be harder on them. And, there's not really a lot of serious people out there when it comes to something like that anymore. And maybe that might at someday change. But for now, especially now, it seems like, the average age of somebody that's going to get married is at least going to be my age or a bit older. Because when I was definitely like 20, 25 years old, it just really didn't seem like there were any serious people hardly out there, really. And I even talked to my stepbrother, who actually is also gay, but not also gay, but I think I'm straight. just just don't listen to me. But I had a chat with him, and he was talking about getting into relations and blah blah. And he's all talking about, oh, I'm this age now, but I'm not in a relationship, like that's an issue or something, because I was 25 years old at the time. I was like, oh, you still aren't in a relationship, that's like a bad thing. And I'm just like, what? For one, Jordan, just don't worry about stuff like that. Things like this are things that you can do whenever age. You don't actually, there's no set age and when you have to do something. As you grow up, there's no set age. You can do things whenever you want, whether it's a career or getting married or whatever. And two, at the time I had talked with a lot of the women here in town, probably, and I didn't find a single serious one of them. And there are maybe a couple that I maybe kind of like in some way, but I was just like, no, it's not going to work. I can tell when something's not going to work. And that's not just me being picky, Like if they were just asking for sex or something, there's maybe a chance with maybe a couple of them I would have. But if it's when it comes to a serious relationship, I wouldn't go out with any of them. No offense. And at one point, when I was in my early 20s, I realized, I didn't really have to be in a relationship. I'm just fine. I don't have any hate towards women or anything. I'm just fine. Who really cares to get married right now? And, do I have to get married? No, I don't. I really don't have to get married. I mean, why should I need to get married? Maybe if I was, let's say, trying to have kids with somebody, then yeah, maybe I would engage in a marriage with that person who I had children with, so that we could also kind of better work with each other and raise the kids. But other than that, I just don't really see much of a point. And that's also, again, one of my reasons is just, why harp on women when there's really no issue, and, before you get into getting married with anybody really, just think, do you seriously have to get married to begin with? With this person, and, would this actually be beneficial for both of us? And, or is it going to be harder on us? Is it going to be hard on me when I feel like I just want to do what I want? You know what I mean? If you're the kind of person that just wants to do what they want and not have to deal with a woman in the house, then don't get married, is basically what I'm going to say. And that's the reason why I made my last video. I'd say kind of a reason why I made my last video is because I just thought it was so funny. This guy was making this comment about, God bless America and freedom. And, we can, we can have this love doll, and I have this love doll because of my ex was a bitch to me. But yeah, the part where he was just getting patriotic and saying God bless America and freedom and blah blah blah, it just cracked me up. You know, you either want to be in a relationship or you don't. And, you know, don't give me your half-assed reasons and, you know, right and God bless America bullshit to me like that. Because again, I've never criticized anybody for being single and having a love doll or whatever. I've never ever done something like that in my entire life. And I'm when it comes to men and women not getting married, I'm on nobody's side on the equation. Like I said, I've heard both sides. I've heard the women, I've heard the men, I've heard the LGBTQ community. I mean, I've pretty much heard it all. But it just seems like on the internet, even to this day, it just seems like there's people out there that are just kind of stuck in that one opinion on the over the internet, and they like to engage in that conversation of, yeah, it's the woman's fault, or yes, it's the men's fault, you know, bullshit. And if you like to have fun with that, I mean, I don't really judge, but you know, that's basically the reason why I don't do it, is because I just don't like to be the kind of person that just bitches all the time. Yeah, I just think that's just a very negative thing to do to people in general. And I also just don't think it's going to help with any kind of hate, if I have any towards women or any grief. You know, I sometimes can tell, you know, the people that are serious and the people that aren't serious when they talk about this stuff, because some of them actually are serious. They are not joking around. I know that some of you think they're joking around, but they really are not joking around. They legit think that it's the woman's fault. But moving on from that, and I'm not sure how many people are going to like this video or whatever, but, you know, I just wanted to talk about that real quick, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.